10 top habits of successful real estate agents. How to be the best agent. You know, what daily schedule do they have? And again, this is like an epiphany here. We do not rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. In other words, if you haven't accomplished your goals last year, or if you haven't accomplished where you want to be this year already, it's because their system is broke. It's not that our goals were overly optimistic. It's not that we dreamed too much. It was that the systems we have in place to achieve our goals aren't doing what they need to be doing. And that's where creating habits comes into play. So what do? Rule number one, make it easy. And again, I'm going to actually talk about the top 10 habits after I discuss 4 rules, because we're going to have some rules by which we're going to put all of this into place. Okay. So make it obvious, put it in front of you. Again, one of the reasons we talk about doing vision boards and making it present is so that when you come into your space, and I don't care if you're working from home or if you're working from the office, it's got to be ever present in your mind. Why are you doing what you're doing? What's in it for you? I mean, what is your goal? What's your why? What do you want to be? And then for daily prospecting, again, it's a great time saver. As you're going through your day, start thinking about what do you want to do in the morning? And again, write it out. Know what you're going to do so that you don't waste that 30 minutes or 45 minutes in the morning going through your prospect list, trying to figure out what you're going to do. Do it the night before. Make it attractive. Again, if we don't make it attractive, if we don't really look at our why, and we don't look at why we're doing what we're doing, if it's not attractive, we're not really going to get behind it, So make sure that it's your why, not your broker's why, not your significant other why, just why, and then work towards it. Make it attractive. Remember that top producers, you know what? They're working on this all the time, okay? Who are they prospecting? What are you doing? Making it easy. Again, don't make it too easy now, but make it easy. Because if you don't make it easy and it's more than you can handle or it's too tough, you're going to be discouraged. You're going to start beating up on yourself. And I don't want you beating up on yourself. I want you to figure out how you can get the small wins, get the small successes so that you can build on them. Talk up. We talk so negatively to ourselves. Let's not do that. Let's be positive affirmation. All right. Daily prospecting. So you set up for 2 hours of prospecting time. You know what? Just sit down in a chair and write a note. Just sit down in a chair and make one phone call. That's a success. Yeah, celebrate it. Come on. You did what you were hoping to do. You're one step closer to being successful. All right, come on. Do it. Come on, you can do this. One step at a time. That's how you learn to walk. One step at a time. So let's do the same way with prospecting. Plan for 2 hours. Make one note. Make one postcard. And one email. That's a success. And then build on it. Make it satisfying. What follows immediately? In other words, I did it. I got that email. Man, I've been wanting to do that email for a long time. You know what? I've been wanting to call that person my SOI. Oh, man, I can't even think how long I wanted to catch up to them. You know what? Now is the time. Make it satisfying. Celebrate. Celebrate that win. You got to celebrate that win, okay? Okay. I love this. You can follow the Jerry Seinfeld example, put it next to every day that you complete your prospecting. Now, what I want you to think is, okay, so you got your calendar in front of you, and you make an X because you accomplished it today. Tomorrow, you only made 4 phone calls, you wanted to make 5, so you can't put an X through it. But you know what? The next day, maybe you made 6 and caught back up. But maybe not. Maybe all you had was 5. But you know what? Put your X through it. And you're going to see that those X's will start building up. Okay, they say it takes 21 days to make a habit. Now, I think some of us are a little bit slower than that. Me and myself probably takes 66 days. I'm being honest with you, okay? But whatever it takes, they also say that in 2 days, you can disrupt it. So don't get off track. If you do find yourself off track, you know what? Go back and what I want you, I don't, we're creating habits, okay? I don't want you to continue to reinvent the wheel. I don't want you to have to continue to come back to where you started. We're talking about filling your pipeline so that business is on a roll, you're on a roll each and every day. So here we are, top 10 habits. Morning routines, we all have them. You go to the bathroom first or do you brush your teeth first? I don't know. I'm just saying. You get out of bed first or do you roll out of bed? Fitness. Again, fitness is huge, folks. I don't care if it's just a stroll to the kitchen in the office where you get a donut or something. I mean, that's fitness. You're walking, right? So, you know, you call fitness, I call fit, whatever. But fitness is important. Modern day reading. Again, if you're not reading, then you're stagnating. You're not growing. Again, when you were a kid and you started in school, you started to learn. How'd you do that? You started by reading. I don't care if it's real estate books. I don't care if it's self-esteem books. I don't care what it is. Reading something. Prospecting each and every day, some form of prospecting. You know, be a banner, wear a sandwich board. Whatever it takes to draw attention to yourself, okay? Live within their means. This is huge. So many of us, you know, we know we have a number of closings coming up, and so we're all geeked and everything else. What am I going to do with that money? What am I going to do with that money? We get the money and the money's all gone, and we're back at the plateau. The problem is when we get so busy that we forget to do what we're supposed to be doing with regard to our morning routine, our modern day reading, our prospecting and everything else. So then we go up and then we come back down, we're on a plateau. No. We want to go up the mountains to keep right on going up the mountain, okay? Learning, education, again, I don't care if it's training with me. I don't care if it's training with Darwin or with Alec. I don't care. Knockboard does a lot of training. All I'm saying is tap into the training. It's free. Come on, get a piece, get a part of it. Networks mindset. You got to be a networker, okay? I don't care if it's your mail person. I don't care if it's your neighbor on the right or the left. You know, what's sad is today, in reality, so many of us, we have neighbors and we don't even know them. We don't know who lives on the right or left of us. We don't know who lives across the street. But for those of you that live in a rural community where there's a mile between you, I understand there's a little bit of difficulty. But you know what's amazing? You know what animals they got in the yard. You know what vehicles they drive. They don't even know their name. Come on. Networking mindset. To-do list lovers. If you're a to-do list lover, fantastic. For men, we've been given to-do lists ever since we got married. You know what? And that's why they call it a list, because it goes on the list and doesn't get done. But if you are, you got to do them, all right? Put it on your list. Know your neighborhood and market. Again, there's so many ways. Real Comp gives you hot sheets. Real Comp gives you so many ways that you can easily stay up on the market, know what's going on, but your neighborhood, that's down to you. That's you and your significant other. That's you and your cat or your dog or your monkey or whatever it is that you have walking through the neighborhood and talking with your neighbors. And then finally is resiliency and grit. Again, stick to it. Don't expect results today just because you did everything that you're supposed to do, but you have to build into it, build a great foundation, build on that foundation with resiliency and grit, stick to it, and you will reap the rewards. Okay, next thing up, all right? Develop habits to improve your performance and increase your profitability. Wow, say that 3 times really fast, all right? Develop habits to improve your performance and increase your profitability. There are so many real estate agents who make millions every year because they built the right lead generation habits, all right? If they're doing something and we're not doing something, then we need to copy what they're doing. And again, customer service, you cannot say enough about customer service. Every opportunity that you have to be able to work with a buyer or a seller, give them the utmost of customer service. Get that, you know, if it's role playing, if it's talking, you know, if you want to do some role playing, you got nobody who wants to role play, call me. All right, we'll do a little role play. We'll hone those skills. All right. There's a 3-step pattern. Here's a video that came available to us, and I'm just going to share the video.
Imagine for a moment that you have a habit that you really want to change. Let's say, for instance, you go up to the cafeteria every afternoon and you eat a chocolate chip cookie. This habit has caused you to gain a little bit of weight. In fact, this habit has caused you to gain exactly 8 pounds, and your wife has started making some pointed comments. And what I really mean is me, because this is a habit that I had that I just couldn't kick. To understand why that habit was so powerful and what it would take to change it, I had to learn how habits work. Every habit functions the same way. At first, there's a cue, some type of trigger that makes the behavior unfold automatically. Studies tell us that a cue can be a location, a time of day, a certain emotional state, other people, or just a pattern of behaviors that consistently triggers a certain routine. To figure out the cue for my craving, I spent a few days tracking exactly when the urge to eat a cookie hit. And what I noticed pretty soon was something interesting. The cookie craving always hit about between 3 o'clock and 3:30 in the afternoon. That was my cue. It was a certain time of day. The next part in the habit loop is the routine, the behavior itself. And for me, that was pretty easy to figure out. Every day between 3 and 3:30, I'd get this craving for a cookie. I'd get up out of my chair. I'd walk over to the elevator. I'd take the elevator up to the 14th floor. I'd get out. I'd buy a cookie, and then I would eat it while talking to my colleagues in the cafeteria. The last part of the habit loop is the reward. And in some respects, the reward is the most important part, because that's why habits exist, so that we can get the rewards that we want. But figuring out a reward is kind of tricky. To figure out what reward was driving my habit, I did a little bit of an experiment. One day when the cookie urge struck, instead of going up to the cafeteria, I went outside and I took a walk around the block. Then the next day, I went up to the cafeteria, but instead of buying a cookie, I got a candy bar and then ate it at my desk. And then the day after that, I went up to the cafeteria again, but I didn't buy anything. Instead, I just talked to friends for about 10 minutes. You get the idea. What I was trying to do was test different hypotheses to figure out what reward I was actually craving. And what I figured out pretty quickly was it had nothing to do with cookies. It had to do with socializing. Nowadays, what happens is at about 3:30 in the afternoon, I absentmindedly stand up, I look around the office, I see a friend, I'll walk over and we'll gossip for 10 minutes, and then I'll go back to my desk. The urge to go get a cookie has completely disappeared. The new behavior has become a habit, and I've lost about 12 pounds as a result. Studies have shown that if you can diagnose your habits, you can change them in whichever way you want. So what are the cues, routines, and rewards in your life? What habit do you want to change? The power of habit. Why we do what we do in life and business. Learn more at thepowerofhabit.com.
Now, if you know me at all, I am a cookie person, okay? I can be distracted by a cookie, just the smell and the sniff of a cookie in the office. When folks would walk in the front door with whether it be a cookie or a donut, I'd smell it and I'd meet them in the kitchen and they're like, how'd you know I was here? I smelled you coming, baby. Yeah. I love that video. It was right on for me. I don't know about you. But he breaks it down a little bit further into tag, okay? You got to have a trigger, which is a cue that's going to indicate your behavior, okay? And he realized it was a timing thing for him. Action, you're going to act on that cue. It's automatic. You don't even think about it because you create the habit, and then it becomes a way of the way you do business. Gain, what do you gain? Again, you define that. Remember we talked about making it attractive? We talked about making it easy. That all ties into this trigger, action, and gain. We're gonna break it down just a little bit more. Oh, well, right after this. Again, if you want more about the power of habit, Charles Dugan's book is there, the website and all that. And like I said, I'll be providing this to managers after today. But trigger, picking the correct trigger is obviously going to be key. I mean, think about it. Write down the things that you do each day without fail. Just write them down, whatever it is. I don't care how big, how small. And then think about those actions and how they act as reminders, okay, for the things that you do. And attach your new behaviors. In other words, the things you want to do, the things that you know you should be doing. Write that down. But start with what is it that you're doing each and every day, okay? Again, if you want to start a new habit, start small, folks. Don't, the old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. Well, you're not going to change your habit in a day. It takes time. Break your new behaviors into smaller, easier to accomplish tasks, okay? And match them. And lead generation needs to be a goal. I mean, if all you're focused on is, this, as far as the number of listings you want this year and number of buyers, okay, lead generation. What are you going to do to make that happen? So again, we're going to come up with time block, 30 minutes a day, okay? Call contacts. Get 20 new contacts a week. Make 20 calls a week. Again, get 20 new contacts a week. Make 20 calls a week. Wow, I don't know. I started to see some consistency here. And think about it. So what? You only made 10 calls this week because you're really extremely busy. You have a choice to make. You're going to make it up, or you're going to track it off as a win, because you know what? The fact that you made 10 phone calls this week, how many did you make last week? Build on your successes, celebrate each and every win, because in truth, every phone call you make is a win. Spend 20 hours a month calling new contacts. Always looking for those new opportunities. It's important to celebrate. You need to celebrate, because if you're not celebrating, you're not going to do it. You're just not. That's the way we're built. It's got to be repeated over and over and over again. Prospect, whether it's calling, postcards, thank you notes, thinking of you notes, Again, way to go. Remind yourself, I'm in control of my financial future. You know what? And you are. Because if you don't do anything, you're still in control of your financial future. Treat yourself to something special. Me, it's that chocolate chip cookie we were talking about. It takes time to build a new habit. Know that going in. Select the habit you would like to create, change, or choose your 3 big goals to get there. What is it? It comes back to the why. And break those goals down into something smaller. Again, make it easy, folks, so that you can celebrate that success. And practice patience. Because in the beginning, it's not going to be easy. It's a new habit, all right? But as you do it over and over and over, it becomes easier, and the payoff is huge, huge, huge. So experiment a little, all right? Find the right trigger that reminds you to start your new habit. Work at it. You got that new trigger? Now work at it. Make your new habit so easy you can't say no. Make it be what you want to do. And then the reward, give yourself kudos for the small wins. Use positive affirmation. Don't beat on yourself. Celebrate. This video is awesome.
In his book, The Happiness Advantage, happiness researcher Shawn Achor discussed how he wanted to make practicing guitar a daily habit. However, he encountered a problem that plagues everyone. He couldn't motivate himself to do it. No matter how much he tried, his guitar remained in the case. Achor's problem is a common one. If you want to change a habit in the long term, in the beginning, you have to rely on willpower. But willpower is a finite resource and can't be relied on. In other words, the more decisions you make on a daily basis, the more likely you are to experience what psychologists call decision fatigue. Improving habits, especially at the end of a given a choice, we almost always go with the disempowering habits instead of the habits that are good for us. They offer us a path of least resistance and become the easier choice. But what if you had a tool to reshape that path entirely? A tool that made positive habits more accessible? In Achor's example, he realized that having to remove his guitar from the closet increased the effort he needed to start practicing, even if that effort only cost him an extra 20 seconds. Those 20 seconds meant the difference between doing his habit and not. He came to a resolution. Put his guitar in the center of his apartment. The results? He practiced guitar for 21 days straight without exception. Eckhart called this the 20-second rule. He says, lowering the barrier by just 20 seconds was all it took to help me form a new habit. The 20-second rule not only can be used to build new empowering habits, but it can be used to ease the transition between negative and positive ones as well. Eckhart's next experiment was to replace watching television when he returned home from work with reading and writing his book. This time, he took the batteries out of the remote and moved them, you guessed it, 20 seconds away. Here are his findings. The next few nights, when I got home from work, I plopped down on the couch and pressed the on button on the remote, usually repeatedly, forgetting that I had moved the batteries. Then frustrated, I thought to myself, I hate that I do these experiments. But sure enough, the energy and effort required to retrieve the batteries or even walk across the room and turn the TV on manually was enough to do the trick. There are multiple ways you can experiment with the 20-second rule. Just remember, as a rule of thumb, you need to decrease the activation energy you need to do positive habits and increase it to do negative. If you want to replace a bad habit, like drinking alcohol after work, consider moving your pint glasses to another room or leaving alcohol that's best served chilled, unrefrigerated. No one wants to drink a beer or white wine that hasn't been chilled. If you'd like to minimize the number of hours you spend online, delete the social media apps on your smartphone. The extra effort needed to go to the App Store, download the app, and enter your account details will help with fighting this habit. If you want to eat more healthy, consider doing a weekly grocery shop for the whole week. Prepare your lunch and dinner meals in advance, so when you're hungry, the extra effort needed to go and buy something new will help you pick the already prepared healthy food. If you want to make brushing or flossing your teeth a habit, put your toothbrush right next to your bed, so you can just grab it and start brushing your teeth. It's easier to start brushing your teeth and then go to the bathroom. Then first go to the bathroom and start
I
it
love
there.
the simplicity of this video. Something as easy as, we go home, we plop down, it's been a long day, tired, yada, yada. I want to clear our head. So we hit the DV remote, but if it doesn't work, what do? And I'm going to take it one step farther. And this is one of the things that intrigues me. When people are on their computers and they go into their Facebook or they go into link to their Twitter or whatever it is, they want to log in. They don't want to save their passwords on their computer. So, they sit down in front of the computer and they type in their passwords and they go to wherever it is they want to go. What I find interesting, though, is that if you pick up your smartphone and you look at your smartphone, you just push on the button and automatically, boom, there it is. Wow, I'm in Facebook. I can look at Facebook now. And I can go look at Instagram. So their suggestion is that you eliminate all these apps from your phone, but I don't eliminate them because you want to use that. That's where the networking mentality needs to come into play. You need to have them there, but instead of making it so you press the button and instantly you're in, make it so you have to log in each time. Because if Facebook is your distraction or Instagram is your distraction, and you make it where you have to log in before you have the reward, you will find that you won't go there as often. Why? Because you put a barrier in place. That if you're the type, I'm going to take it one more step. Your phone rings. Oh, I gotta get it. I gotta get it. I gotta get it. No, you don't. That's why they invented voicemail. Voicemail was designed so that if it's important, they're going to leave you a message. And if it's not important, doesn't matter, because again, you look at your phone, you know which phone messages are, which ones you didn't answer. It shows up, the color's different, right? I mean, come on now, folks. Don't let this phone, this device that can be a lifesaver, be a hindrance from you being able to be successful in doing what you need to do to grow your business. Okay. Change it from I can do it, be happy, and then what are your questions? I love it when I hear crickets. All right, we got no questions. I'll be sharing the PowerPoint presentation with managers here so that they can share it likewise. And if there's anything I can do for you, as always, reach out and touch someone. All right, y'all have a great day. There it is. Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.